It's me and Wallace again, and he's doing what he should, and I'm overthinking, as usual, trying to figure out how to get out of this flipping mess. Wallace and I lost his leash again, so we're looking for it. But I have a feeling when I was out there taking pictures of the waves, it got snatched up. I've got a lot of stuff out there in that sea. Can you imagine the sunglasses out there? Can you imagine all the fish probably wearing them? So today I tried to just listen to Jason's Comic-Con. I know I don't say that right. The second one. And I've not listened to any of them. It's hit and miss with him, which is a pain for me because I know he's got more truth than anybody else I know, just because of the nature of how and what he did and his dedication. You have to get steeped in this stuff to get it, and to understand the way that they try and deceive you. That's the biggest part of it. It makes it hard. Anyway, so I listened to him most of the day, and this morning read Thomas More. That also opens up so much insight, but there's no question that everything we've been told is a narrative for the benefit of the people at the top, and it's always been that way. It will always be that way. Everything that we've been inflicted with was by intention, and that's really hard for somebody to grasp. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to understand that depth of evil, that depth of justification and entitlement, or I don't know. What is it? What is it that causes men to be like that? I just don't know. It baffles my mind, and that's why I keep I keep researching, thinking I'm going to uncover this golden prince that's going to save us all. And of course, they knew we'd be looking for that, so they gave us saviors, one after the other. As soon as you got sick of one, they give you another. What you got there? We can't play with this, silly. That's too big. This is better. Come on. You just want to show. It is beautiful, isn't it? I always think about all the sunglasses out there and all the fish wearing them. Too close. We're so blessed with this land that we've been able to live on, and goodness, it would have been enough for all of us probably. We didn't need to be tortured with a savior that many of us found out was a bunch of bunk. You know, you don't want a savior unless someone gives you one and then takes it away. I'm not throwing that log to you, silly. I don't want to play with this log. Oh, goodness, he is totally determined. I know that we have a lot of power within ourselves. I just can't explain why I feel so desperately responsible to know what they are doing. And the only way we can know what they are doing is if we know what they have done. And that is a lot of unraveling, a lot of no way. And then you find out, yeah, way. It's been going on for so very long. And it's all through the church. The evil church. That's, if you want to trick somebody, you don't give them something obviously bad, you give them something obviously good, right? I mean, you don't feed poison in a poison cup. You put it in a beautiful glass. Yeah. Look at this little fish. He's kind of old. I guess you are. You got puffer fish, is it? I think it's a puffer fish. But it's been a while since I've seen one of those. Even the Civil War, it's just crazy. I was listening to Static in the Attic today, and he's excellent. I don't know where he gets his info. Most of the time I do my own research, but when I'm tired, I'll just either read a book, or sometimes I've got just a handful of people I listen to that I trust. I hope they're trustworthy. And those are Static in the Attic and Jason with Archaics and Suspicious Observers and Randall Carlson, and I like him very much. I think he's connected with people that won't let him say anything, and often that's the case. You have to be pretty daggone brave to tell the truth about what's going on in today's world, and several people who've done it aren't here anymore, so there you go. The person that I learned most from was Doug Vogt, and I'm so blessed that I got to know him, and he taught me so much. He was a Jewish man steeped in the Jewish tradition and law, and had been raised that way. And finally, in the 70s, he recognized that he would never figure out the questions of the Bible, the Torah, and he knew things climatically were looking weird. And so he started comparing information, found out about the cyclical nature of the world, and the only way, look how beautiful, the only way he was able to do that was because he and his friend, they were photojournalists in the war in Iraq, and they got talking one day and determined that if they looked at the world from a multi-dimensional universe perspective, where we were not created but we were information, then everything would fall together. Now, I shared, I think last week, where I found, and they called the biology books back then, I'm trying to think of what they call them, something different. And I was reading in that about the test tube and how they figured out how to take basically the bacteria that is at the bottom of life, which often is E. coli, and generate conditions that might have been like when the earth was forming, and then hit those conditions with lightning or some kind of rays, and lo and behold, they were able to form a human. And I knew there were many that had been birthed or created or whatever you want to say, but I couldn't find any definite info, and I finally did by going through the back door of books. Like In His Image would be one book that talks about the creation or the manipulation of DNA, and that one guy, I'm not going to mention names, plus I probably will get them wrong, but one guy wanted a test tube baby. He wanted to clone himself is basically how this book began, and he found some people to work with him, and his goal was to hopefully get that reimplanted in him at some later date or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it never came right out and said anything, but it was pretty darn obvious that they weren't going to take that knowledge and just let it sit there. I mean, think about it. Do you know how scientists are? They're driven people, and they don't care about money. They just want to find their solution, and often they don't care if it'll be beneficial or not. We get driven as people. So, okay, so where was I? So, lo and behold, I've looked up a lot of things, but finally I realized that yes, we've been making people out of test tubes for some time now, and that we've been manipulating genetic material for a whole long time. And that's sad to me, but it is what it is, right? So my thought is that is how life formed, probably, possibly. And then as our people advance technologically, and we might be the least technologically advanced for all we know, but each time the earth cycles, our DNA changes. Now, is that on purpose? Or is it just evolution? No, I think it's on purpose. When you look back at the last Earth age, it's pretty clear that the Anunnaki were able to leave Earth. And it could be that they're traveling around on the Phoenix planet, which circulates every 138 years, near enough to Earth. When you start to tie this stuff in, it begins to explain how we've been reset so many times. And once you get deep enough, it all begins to make sense. It's crazy, but it makes sense. You know, it's no different than a sci-fi movie, and a guy I listened to yesterday said that The Matrix was a documentary. I know that our brains are holograms, and that what we see we get, and that we can project, and that we can make choices based on what we're able to conjure up in our minds and in our spirits. And I believe that spirit and matter are one. It has to be. It would be very difficult for someone to convince me that matter and spirit were separate. I can't buy it. And I've spent quite a bit of time on that. So, well, how long has this been going on? This BS. The real deal was the Roman Catholic Church and the Bible. That, well, not just that. They've discarded all the books that have truth. It's been a big endeavor. You gotta wonder how in the world, except that we're sheep. Without sheep, you can't have sight, as far as they're concerned. So if you're gonna stay a sheep, I hope you'll turn me off. I'm looking for people who want freedom and know that the only way to get it is through our spirit leading us to all truth. It's out there, but you gotta be a seeker like you never understood a seeker before. Over and out.